Thank you for tuning into Take 10 on Tuesday with the Tennessee Tribune. I'm Jason Luntz. Today we have a special guest with us, Ronald Hickland Jr., who is the Manager of Technology at Ebonite, who supplies 60% of the world's bowling balls. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now, the reason I wanted to interview you was a couple of reasons. I see that you're doing some amazing things in your field. I know that you have been recognized by national press, and I just really love your story and how you came up and what you're doing now. So I wondered if we could just start a little bit with your background. How did you get into engineering, and how did you get into your love for bowling?
Sure. My father was a big-time bowler. I used to travel with him to tournaments all across the country, and one day I met a bowling ball designer. I was at a bowling tournament, my dad was there, and I met a bowling ball designer, and I said, well, what do you have to do? Like, what do you do? And tell me about your job. And he kind of told me about his job and all what it entailed. And I go, I think I want to do something like that. So what do you have to do that? He's like, well, you want to have a degree in engineering. Chemical, if you want to focus on the outside piece of the bowling ball and cover stock.
Okay.
Or mechanical, if you want to focus on the inside piece with a core shape, which is what this is right here.
Okay.
So I met this bowling ball designer. We talk, and I said, well, I should probably, work at a pro shop, which is where they drill the bowling balls at. So I started doing that. And from that, it just kind of built from there. Traveling with my dad, I kept in contact with a lot of different people that are in bowling.
Okay.
And then I realized, I was like, you know what? This will work. This is something that I think I want to do for my career. So I went to school at Purdue University, got a degree in mechanical engineering.
Okay.
Because I had kept in contact with manufacturers throughout my college, I actually worked for 2 of my spring breaks for free for manufacturers for free. I said, hey, look, you just let me come in and do some work. I'll help out any way I can. I got some pro shop experience. Just want to kind of get my feet wet a little bit. Did that, was able to make some more contacts, and as a result of those contacts, was ultimately able to secure my position at Ebonite once I graduated college.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So your father was a professional bowler? This is what he did, or he just was really into the sport?
He was a very highly accomplished, and still is a highly accomplished amateur bowler.
Okay.
But because of that, we would always go to tournaments, and he would be competing against professionals all the time.
Okay, I understand. So basically, as a kid, you saw the love for the game, but you got intrigued by how the actual ball is made. Now that's interesting that your mind worked that way.
Yeah, and it's funny because once I saw that this is what I wanted to do, then it was, what's the plan to be able to get there? What do you need to do? Go to college, make contacts, because it's very hard to get into this field. There's only 4 people in the world that design bowling balls.
Wait, so you're 4 people?
There are 4 people in the world that design bowling balls.
Wow. See, now when you're at the bowling alley with your friends and family, think about that for a moment. I would think it's such a popular sport, I never even thought about that. So you're one of the 4?
One of the 4, yep.
Wow, that's great. So now this is the core.
Correct.
Okay, so this adds weight, and what else does it do?
Yeah, so basically, one of my primary functions is to design the core shape. The core shape provides the weight that gives you the leverage of the steering effect inside the bowling ball. So when you watch TV and you see the professional bowlers throw the ball down the lane and they have this hooking type curve motion, the core is providing the majority of that steering effect.
Gotcha.
What I do is I design the shape, I design the density. You can feel this one, it probably weighs about 6 pounds. You can feel it's kind of heavy.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
And the reason why we do that is because the shape and the mass help to steer that product as it goes down the lane.
Oh, okay.
What we'll do is we'll take this and we'll encase it in another layer. This is actually a bowling ball that's been cut in half. So now we have this inside piece that's been encased in another layer. This layer here is not as heavy as this. It allows us to put more weight toward the center of the ball, less weight to the outside of the ball.
Oh wow, this is great.
Then we have the outside layer, which is the actual cover stock, the part that actually touches the lane.
Okay.
So when you see the ball, all you see is the cover stock.
That's all we see. Okay. Now your focus is here. Chemical engineers deal with this.
Absolutely. I work with a bunch of chemists that actually develop the cover stocks in-house. What's interesting about the chemistry is it looks very hard and very solid,
yes.
But under a microscope it's actually very porous and very rigid. What that does is that actually allows the ball to absorb oil off the lane. When you go to the bowling center, you'll notice the lanes are really shiny. Mm-hmm. What that is because the bowling center puts down a coat of oil on the lane. They do that to protect the lane.
Okay, okay.
It's funny because the bowling balls that we make actually are almost like a sponge. It will actually absorb the oil off the lane. Because when you do that, that will increase your ability to get that increase your friction, which will give you more of that hooking action you see.
Wow, wow. Now before I go on, is your game good at bowling?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You okay? I like the modesty. Now, when you drill the hole for your fingers, how deep does that go? So it doesn't affect this area.
It will actually hit the core. It will hit the core. Typically, you're going to go 2 inches deep with the fingers and about 3 inches deep with the thumb.
Okay.
So you would hit the core, but you're not going to affect enough of the mass to really change it. What's interesting though is the position. This orange, this pin right here, signifies the top of the core, and every bowling ball has some sort of pin that signify that. You can see on this ball here, there's a yellow one.
That's what that. See, I've seen that before. I never knew what that was for.
What that is that shows you where the top of the core is, and it is the orientation of that core relative to the fingers and thumb that will ultimately give you that steering effect.
Okay.
So, if it's tilted more one way versus another, that'll give you more steering one way versus another. If you're right-handed versus left-handed,
okay,
depending on where you put it, that'll give you more hook for a right hand or more hook for a left hand.
So when you throw the ball, you can actually pay attention to that.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, that can make a big difference in my game. Okay, I'm learning tips. I'm learning tips here. Now, the other thing that I want to talk to you about was, so it's 1 of 4 designers, and I saw from your bio you're getting a lot of national press. How did you, what is it about you that people are starting to talk about? For example, I know you were on the cover of Black Enterprise magazine. So how are those things coming to be?
Well, it's really cool because first off, I've got a very good PR team.
Okay.
DeGard Ellis actually represents me from a PR standpoint, and they take really good care of those kind of things as they come up. A lot of the attention really is drawn from the story. It's a situation where, at a very young age, I was able to decide what I wanted to do, and then I was able to chase that dream all the way through to fruition. It's one of those things where I wasn't the smartest kid in school. Matter of fact, when I was in middle school and high school, I was always lower in the math than where I should be.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's surprising.
But my determination was, hey, I'm going to figure out a way to get through this. I want to design bowling balls. When I got to college, the first thing that I did was I formed a study group. And that study group, we started out about 8, 9 different people. By the time we got to my senior year, it was only 3 of us that stayed together throughout the whole time. But I will tell you, it was because I had that study group that is what helped to allow me to get through college, to be able to get my degree and do what I'm doing today.
Wow. Well, I also thought it was really something to note when you said that free time you had, that you actually were working for free to get those contacts. Yeah, that's really important, especially our viewers that are in college or trying to start new careers. Sometimes you got to make that sacrifice. It's not always about the money, but getting experience and getting contacts is very important.
Absolutely. I mean, specifically in bowling, when you're talking about such a small field, one of the key things to do is make sure people know that you're interested in these things. I mean, I did 2 different internships for my spring break for free, like I said, and the reason why was because through that I got to meet additional people. And one of the things that was told to me was, hey, look, it's a very small field, it's very niche. If you want to get in, you're gonna have to know somebody. Well, all you're gonna know somebody is to go interact with somebody.
Yes.
The best way to do that is to get out there and say, hey, look, you know what? I don't mind helping you out, and you can give me some more training. I can learn some more from you. I can make some more contacts. Those things are very, very key and critical in order to be able to succeed in the real world long term. What's funny, Jason, is that once I got into my position, I used the same philosophy to be able to advance my career at my position at Ebonite. I came in, started out as a development engineer, just kind of working on things. Had a goal to work on the core design.
Yes.
So I worked very, very hard to get into doing core design. Designed my first core a year after I was there, and then have since had 3 promotions, and have been able to amass. I've got probably about 15 to 20 people that work under me now, all related to helping to develop products for these different brands that we have.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, I also know that you have developed a product that you yourself have patented.
Correct.
Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. I mean, remember I told you earlier, I said the bowling ball, as it goes down the lane with the cover stocks that we have on them, they actually suck the oil off the lane.
Yes.
Well, I have designed a product that actually you put on the bowling ball, and it takes the oil that's in the bowling ball out of the bowling ball and puts it into itself. And then you throw that and you discard that product away. What that does is that helps to rejuvenate or breathe new life into the bowling ball. Because the way you look at it is, the bowling ball is a sponge, and once you continue to put oil in it, eventually it fills up. Once it fills up, it can't absorb oil anymore.
That's right.
If it can't absorb oil anymore, then it loses performance. Well, this material that I developed actually absorbs the oil in the ball, it takes the oil that's in the ball and absorbs it into itself, thereby clearing up the pores in the bowling ball.
So you have, in essence, you've in the life of the bowling ball I mean, wow, that's just great. I'm just kind of blown away. That's amazing. First of all, that's a brilliant idea. So basically, now that it absorbs the oil out of the ball, you can use the ball longer.
Correct.
Wow.
It's a way to rejuvenate the bowling ball.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Now, how is the company though? They're like, they can't sell as many balls now?
No, it's okay because it actually works to our benefit because we were the only company that could do that. So we just sold lots of that stuff. It doesn't replace. People still want new product.
Yes.
And it's like anything else. If there's something the latest and greatest, they're going to want to buy it anyway.
You're right. Okay, I have a Lexus. Yeah, I can keep polishing it for 5-10 years, but eventually I'm gonna
You're gonna want to get a new one. Exactly. That's the exact same thing.
Yeah. So basically, just saying. But in the meanwhile, because you do have consumers that are going to wait 3, 4, 5 years. Well, here, use this until it's time to get another one.
Correct. And because it's your product, they're more likely to come back to your product to buy a new bowling ball.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because you're actually staying within an. See this. Okay. So you're also a businessman. I like that. Now, I had 2 more things I have to touch on while I have you. I don't want to keep you forever, but another thing I noticed about you, I looked on your website, and you can tell us your web address?
Yeah, it's just my name, RonaldHickland.com.
RonaldHickland.com. Well, first of all, I want to say I really love the presence. It looks very clean, and it's a really good looking site. And I checked out your social media. I see your Twitter and everything. How important do you feel social media is to, let's say, bowling or just promoting any product that's out there today?
You know, social media is one of those tools now that you have to use.
Yes.
Everybody's using it. If you want to have relevance, you have to use it.
Yes.
If you want to stay relevant, you have to use social media. You know, I'm a big fan of Facebook. I put a quote, or I will always try to reference something related to bowling on my Facebook page, which is it's just my name, Ronald Hickland, on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter. I like Twitter a lot. Twitter, I find to be more interesting because it is relevant now.
Yes.
It is exactly what's going on right now.
Yes.
So when you're looking at products, when I'm looking at developing and designing new products, I will go to Twitter because you can find out what's hot, what's trending, what's going on right now, right this second.
And especially with people in your industry, if you just want to see what people talk about bowling, look up hashtags that involve bowling, and you can see what people are physically complaining about or asking for at this exact moment. Yeah.
It's funny because one of the things that we started doing was we actually came up with a hashtag called #MakingBowlingBetter.
Oh, that's good. That's
and
good.
what we started, the reason why we did it was because we're looking around and we're like, you know what? Everything that we're doing is all geared around and built to about making bowling better. So why don't we hashtag that? And every time we do something related to that, we just hashtag it.
There it is.
So I mean, that's what we do that a lot. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I would tell you, especially nowadays, you know, one of the beautiful things about it is I was lucky enough to meet somebody who was able to inspire me to get to my position that I got to.
Yes.
Now you can follow them on Twitter.
That's the crazy thing.
You know, and you may never actually physically meet them, but you can kind of see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then you've got Twitter, you've got Instagram, you've got Pinterest, you've got Wikipedia. I mean, you've got all these other ways to contact and connect with people. And I would tell anybody that's looking to, you know, that wants to get into a career, if you don't know exactly what you want to do, find some people that you kind of look up to and see all about what they're all about.
Definitely.
Look at their social media, see if they're on Wikipedia, see if they're on these other sites, because you can begin to mold yourself around things that they do.
Yes.
And use that as your vehicle to be able to get to your career.
Yes, that's perfect. Yeah, we talk about social media a lot. I like to interview people and see how they feel about it. That's actually what I do here. I'm the social media director for the Tribune. So we're always very interested in seeing how people are utilizing that. And I just was very impressed with the way that you're using it for yourself as a brand and for the company that you work with.
Yeah, I've got a great team. I mean, they put the website together. Like I said, it's fun too, because that's a direct way to interact with your consumer.
Yes.
Through social media. I mean, it's a direct way to interact.
Yes, customer engagement. A lot of us think about social media just for marketing, but customer engagement, customer service, and also just conversing with your customers is such a big part of it.
You know, I have a couple of celebrity clients. One of them is Terrell Owens.
Oh,
and what's
really?
funny is we first we first interacted through Twitter.
See?
That's
amazing.
And then as a result of that interaction, we ended up meeting up at a bowling event, a celebrity bowling event. And then from there, we've been friends, and I've given some lessons, and we worked out some things together. So it's been kind of cool. But it's amazing what social media can do, because you can get those kind of interactions that you would not normally have.
Yes.
And then from there, you can build off of it.
Yeah, it kind of levels the playing field because we're all one person here on our smartphone tweeting, and then if we realize we're on the same page, then you can really spark something off. That's great. And last question before I let you go. I know you live in Clarksville. It's about 40 minutes from Nashville, but like I always say, it's still part of Metro-Nashville. How do you feel about the Middle Tennessee area, the Nashville area, from a business perspective and things that are going on here?
Man, I tell you what, this is one of the best places you could possibly be for multiple reasons. One, the area itself, just the people, the whole Southern hospitality.
Yes,
that's definitely very prevalent in this area. I'm actually originally from Indiana, so a lot further north.
Yes.
But that's definitely one of the things that's really cool. Also, this is one of those areas that is growing quickly. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of opportunity here, and you see that throughout things that are going on in this Middle Tennessee area. So I definitely think this is definitely a very positive place to be in. One of the places that got a lot of growth, already growing, and has a lot of growth potential still to be able to be left.
Yes.
So it's cool. I mean, it's good. It's really good to be in this area for sure.
Great. We always like to hear that. That's why I was really excited about inviting you here today. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you again, man.
Appreciate it.
Great conversation. Once again, you've been watching Take 10 on Tuesday with the Tennessee Tribune.